Hello, sir. Ziggy. Uh, I'll be discussing with actually focusing on business reader whose his names are Bill Gates. Uh, just allow me to go to his profile. Bill Gates actually born in 20th October 1955. Uh, you know, his birthplace was actually in Washington, and he's well known as head of the Microsoft Corporation, and his birth name is William Gates III. Bill Gates is the head of the software company, which is actually Microsoft. He's one of the wildest, wealthiest men. He's actually in the top 10 richest people in the world. Uh, Gates and Paul Allen founded Microsoft in the 1970s. Now we are actually around a difference of, right now we have a difference of almost 50 plus years of this. We actually separation for this uh, company. So through Aaron left the company in 1983, Gates oversaw the actual invasion and marketing of the MSDS and operating system. Actually, the window operating interface, the Internet Explorer browser, and multitude of other popular computer products. Along the way, he gained a reputation for fierce competitiveness and aggressive business savvy. Uh, the reason why I choose this business reader, this Bigot is actually amazing business reader in the world, because when I just reflect back on his history, how he entered in this business, it is so amazing. That's why I choose this reader. Gates grew up in a prosperous area of Seattle and Washington, with the parents and two sisters. In the son of, he was actually the son of the lawyer and the school teacher. Gates attended the public grade school, and then the Lakeside School private college preparatory institution. It was at the Lakeside that he first became interested in the relatively new field of the computer programming, met his friend and future business partner, Paul Aaron, and developed his first computer software program at the age of 13. Gates then dropped out at Harvard in 1976, actually emphasizing on the way I actually came up to choose this reader. Uh, I was being impressed with his actually the passion and the way how he was chasing his dream, because we know that Harvard is a actually prestigious university over the world. But how came in around in 1976, now we are around 45 years. So he dropped in this school, and he started actually trying to chase about the business, the new business, building new business. So without even just focusing the knowledge, the information he would actually be getting into uh, navigating that program through that prestigious university, which with University of Harvard. So, or Harvard University. So, uh, he believed that there was a market for the computer software, and the market was going to expand rapidly as affordable computers were developed for home use. So he saw it that actual people would wanted to shift from the early stages of life and actual lifestyle to come into another generation where they would actually wanted to test about computer and other related things which attached to technology. So that's why he was focusing to build a new business of tech. Gates, as we can see, the Gates or Bill Gates, the importance of his executive development strategies, we can see it here. He was actually struggling because, starting a business is very hard. That's why many people around the world, they're not being regarded as entrepreneurs or business owners because everything concerning starting a business, it is regarded as a hassle of life. But Bill Gates, he believed in it. He actually started developing actually what we call executive development strategies, how he would actually uh, drive this business venture. Get started campaigning actually, advertising campaigning with announcement at the Plaza Hotel in New York, which was actually focusing on what we call the marketing strategy of his business. That a new Microsoft operating system with graphic user interface GUI would soon be marketed his next decision because he had known before that actually he would actually be revamping this product on the market or launching that product on the market and start actually promoting and marketing that product. But he take that strategy to make it as what we call the next generation system, which was actually the window. Gates' announcement was bad. The truth was the Microsoft was nowhere near developing such a system. He knew that the system was to be developed maybe uh, in a maybe few years or maybe a few months, but he actually came up with a strategy of advertising a product that which is going to be on marketing very soon. So furthermore, Windows allowed users to avoid buying new software applications to prepare them. He was trying to actually block the impact of slot competition on the market because he actually blocked many users of uh, this software to buy it or to go to other manufacturers before leaving the products of Microsoft. So that's why he came up actually making 140 million revenues and including 46.6 million from overseas users. So earning for much greater future profits, which he made made it as habit in his company. That's why he's now in the top 10 richest people. His plan was best. That's why I choose to say that this could be the importance of his executive development strategies. Let's go to his strategies and the leadership management styles. Uh, Bill Gates, as I told, as I've been saying about this one, Bill Gates, he actually entered very area and learned a lot because he actually entered this business venture at age of 13. So he actually get that opportunity learning new things because every change was coming into uh, business technology was actually even challenging him at the same time also learn. He takes that opportunity of learning from the every failure, every challenge, so that he can just move his business ahead. That's why right now it's very successful. Uh, Bill Gates, he actually seek seek forgiveness, not permission. Uh, Bill Gates is actually focusing on how he would actually uh, bring this type of business on top. Like too many people fail to succeed because they hold themselves back. They don't want just to move forward. What if they get any fail? They just think that, oh, I'm failing, I should even just quit. No. But biggest known way how you do that. Whether it was useful, falsely, or instinct, Get did not fall into this category. So we talk about his value, your work. He actually focused on the work he does all the time. Value your work. Value your work. He was trying to focus on think companies payroll program. He was actually telling everyone who could be included in that journey of making the business to be successful. So because he would be the head of that journey, he would actually the one to see the value of work. The value of your work, a reader, a real reader, either business reader or any other reader, would actually build people rather than building business. Because once you build people, also the business will be already built because people work for business, prosperity, sustainability, and also its success relatively to it to their actual development because they consider what they get from the work and also give the value of what they do depends on what they get from the work. So as a business reader, Bill Gates was actually focusing on his people, giving the value of the work. So learning matters more than school. He chose to learn from the informal education rather than formal education because school, all schools mostly they can teach you to know about information that concerns or what you're focusing to do, maybe to your journal or something like that. But Bill Gates matters what we call informal. He would actually drop from the school. That's why he dropped from the school and start learning when they are still also learning the business because you learn from the field and also you learn from also others. Now, than maybe the school could teach you more information, but in the other side of application of your information will be tough than what you have got from the school. So it is the role of every reader to practice what he or she got from the school in real life. That's why listening matters about what you give rather than what you're going to keep learning about. Because when it goes into real life of business, people will actually deliver rather than more learning. But in the other hand, in his strategies of and also the business managing style, Bill Gates prefer learning than school. So when you are in charge, take a charge. So when you're leading something, feel you're reading something. Feel you as a reader. It is funny perception change, but when we was learning Microsoft, as he said, Gates had a reputation as a difficult, extremely competitive boss because he would actually influence people. He would actually influence people who allow him because he would actually want to challenge them. He doesn't want to leave them with the way they understand something, the way they want to move it. But he would actually come also challenge them so people would actually learn from him. His contemporary, like Steve Jobs, when you see their descriptions, they disagree. Uh, they don't disagree with actually in the meeting, yeah, with their employees. But when you come to the barricade, more of the time he want to steer the ship because he would want to give the direction as a leader. So be the guy who predicts the future. Be the guy who predicts the future. He actually Bill Gates or the Gates saw the future first to the several key moments. One of them at this classic story came in 1980s when he negotiated a deal to license the DOC operating system to IBM. So IBM was actually a competitive company to Bill Gates when he started actually building Microsoft. So he got a deal of 50,000 USD. So He wanted to actually to buy a license at the lower price. He did it. He actually being successful with that deal uh, because he was in the future. He wanted to just buy it in a low price so that he can just maybe sell in the high price in the future. So that's actually it was about the strategy of uh, this deal of speculative. So he wanted to speculate uh, his products and buy that license of producing the other time to also buy sells it at a high price, which is a good strategy. You should actually predict the future as a reader. Take on a big take on a big enough mission. Big enough mission. Uh, he was actually, in some ways, this should be the first item on the list. As truly successful people first choose endeavors worth of their time. People sometimes, we are likely to see something that would actually give us the bread and everything that would actually make us to be worth, maybe in a short time. But as a Bill Gates, he was actually wanted to take a big enough mission. May, this means that he wanted to take something that would actually get sustainability, make it for long and long, 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 long years. That's why he's still now at top 10 people who are rich in the world because he moved with his mission, he guided his mission towards the success. That's why he would rather take a big mission rather than taking a small mission. Uh, the Bill Gates strategy to develop the people around them. In 1989, Gates announced a new phase of Microsoft expansion that would allow him to concentrate in his uh, energies and strategies and product development. At the same time, the company invested large amounts of the money into improving customer support, feedback, and welfare of employees. Gates planned to direct the company work in such an area as intelligent telephones and televisions, as well as integration of such new computer inputs techniques as speech and versions and handwriting to free himself up to for his work. He stepped down as a president position and he had held since 1992, but he remained Microsoft's chairman and CEO. So you see, he left to influence other leaders to come in. At the same time, he developed more opportunities so that people who are around him would take that opportunities to drive them. So his strategies to develop the people in his organization. Bill Gates said that employment comes in many forms. Leaders should earn men are doing whatever it takes to protect employees and business. Being empathetic to meet people's needs and being mindful to the mental health needs their team members. So he puts employees first because first of all, before you build business, you have to build people. So people would the one to be employees. So if you make your people, your employees happy, then the company will, will also move with its successful mission objectives and goals. So, empowerment people to be human. Yes, we talk about spirituality, or we talk about people to be human in actually integrity in what you're doing. So we have to be a human being rather than being any other person. We work as a human being, we have to deliver as a human being. So we should follow our heart rather than following any other thing that would drive us into the work of that organization. For example, we take decisions to serve people, like any organization has a mission to serve clients. And then you should consider that as a human being, you're serving another human being. So uh, you have to be human to care to another human. So that's why actually uh, there is more spiritual or spirituality that would actually involve or trend in these new styles of management. First of all, while you regard yourself as a human so that you can serve another human being. Then being mentor, you have to mentor your fellow employees, whether you are an employer, so you have to mentor them to be also the future leaders because you will never stay for long and long and long. As long as you build your mission and objectives and purpose to other people and also you mentor them, whatever you're not allowed, the mission, objective, and purpose of the organization will keep also succeeding because you train others, you mentor others. Educate. So even if the bill gets dropped out in early age from the school, but it also encourages the people who are in organization to keep educating themselves. Support, they support them in all ways. There is a financially, there is a mentally, and the other related things that will also help people who are in who are actually working and beyond Microsoft premises. So listen, as a reader, he listened to people because you first of all, as a reader, you have to touch the hearts of people before you ask the hands. They ask because they have to challenge them. Don't leave people to keep thinking the way they think because we are living in the world of change. So he keeps actually uh, doing conversation with people, allowing him to actually challenge, ask a lot of things so that he can also learn from him at the same time he can learn from them, which benefits both sides. So in my side of dissent, there are 6 clear strategies that are fundamental part of the how Bill Gates approaches the concept of the leadership in organization, normally not done by other leaders. They focus. Bill Gates was actually, you can say, he focused on what he built, big picture. He see in the future. That's why in this, like around this, when there was outbreak of COVID-19, he actually also started talking about COVID-19, how we can handle COVID-19, and also facilitating actually the communities around the world to get some supports on different uh, on things that actually would also benefit them, also would actually also benefit and also help them to fight against this COVID-19. So Melinda Gates Foundation. Uh, and also he talked about climate change, and he's the one of the climate chapter who's ahead of in America, also talking about these effects of climate change. Uh, he cares about people around in organization. Uh, Reactivity also comes from reality. He talks something that would actually uh, make people to understand, even if they are in organization and out of the organization, to understand what would benefit them. He actually talked about agriculture and also supports them to, because he talked that land cannot be hidden by anything. He was talking about these uncertainties that would also affect uh, lifestyle of human being, like when we've been hit by uh, COVID-19, this pandemic, people were not even in many parts of the world were not even able to get their meals as they used to get it, because some loses their jobs and others uh, their daily business was stopped. So due to that effect of COVID-19, but when you talk about the commercial agriculture, he talks about all the time. He talks the reality people can understand, also start involving that activity that will save them in the future. So education, as he always encourages, also uh, through his foundation, the Gates Foundation, he has been training so many people to understand different uh, or acquiring different knowledges, different fields. So passionate. So he's passionate about what he's doing because Bill Gates has been everything he has done. He has been out actually passionate about what he's doing as he's in a sector of, or in industry of technology, and has been pushing it to the higher limits that you can see it nowadays. So strategy that Bill Gates is not doing, but normally done by other business leaders. No one is perfect because you cannot do everything that others do, but you must be who you are. So maybe sometimes we can regard it as a weakness of himself in terms of actually adopting and standardizing his strategies, like arrogance, because Piaget always wanted to do conversations and challenges others, maybe in organizations sometimes. So he would actually uh, want to follow his opinions and everything to be influential and also to be regarded and considered into decision-making communications. So that's why he will be regarded as a person who entertains in arrogance. So research-driven, he actually always focusing on as a champion and a successful entrepreneur who would actually look to the results rather than focusing on any other things. So conflict avoidance. So he would actually the person who doesn't want to still saying that I would not involve in a conflict because You cannot be judged when you're not working. So when you work, people judge you. So when you're doing nothing, people will not judge you. That's why you cannot avoid a conflict, or yes, you cannot avoid conflict when you're not working. So because there is no any attacks, because attacks comes from the people who actually work or deliver something. So decide and defend the strategies that works best for Bill Gates and the people around him, like passion. The belief for Bill Gates is that if something is worth doing, then it is worth doing the best of one's ability and others who surrounds you. He believes that he can do what he loves. What he loves, actually what he loves. He dropped in school and started Microsoft because, and actually focusing on programming because he liked that field. So that's why passion can push you more miles of your journey, maybe into your career or into your business journey. So value your work. At the age of 14, he was writing the code for local company's payroll program. By age of 17. Actually, he started getting payments for what he has been doing at early age because he believed that what he does, it has a value because he says what have value. People pays for what have value for them. So they prefer because their demand and their way of paying and you pay for what you want. So that's means that when you value your work, people buy it. So that's what the Bill Gates did. He valued his work. So the strategy that he was recommending to other business leaders, take on a big enough mission. Negate case fast forward into 2000s after the transitions out of the Microsoft and become a full-time philanthropist using the examples of John and Andrew Carnage and the mentorship of Warren Buffett. Gates and his wife Melinda Gates are among American most uh, generous philanthropists focusing on a big problem that they believe governments around the world are incapable of solving. Bigot leadership style is also authoritarian, so also known as an autocratic, wherever the most leaders in the leaders, including Gates, exhibit more than one style of leadership. Different leadership style can be adopted operating the situation because Bigot also has another leadership style which is also transformational leadership, uh, which actually wanted people to transform themselves in terms of the economy, in terms of so facilitating whether you start something, help others to make it, so that we can grow without lifting any gap behind. So the strategies was emulating and will work best for my own development is focus. Knowing something is much different than having wisdom. Like Bill Gates focusing on the one thing they know best, which is software, and then he makes it the best it can become, best it can become. He worked hard to dominate his industry, made execution and top priority and start with the skills that he considered to be his strongest. You can still see this focus through the work he does with the charitable foundation. This would be the strategy that can work best for my own executive development during my leadership management practices. So focus. So focus on what you actually love and what you're passionate about. And uh, like Bill Gates, I'm actually getting this inspiration from Bill Gates on his strategies of focus. This would actually help me to actually dominate because you have so many competitors who are doing the same thing that, or who are chasing the same career that you actually were chasing. So what will make the difference? It is focus. Focus on what you do, give more time, build it, bring more strategies, bring other things that would actually you would employ that others would not able to demonstrate during the competition sessions, maybe. That's how I can say. And also being driven and focusing on what you love will make you to succeed. That's why I choose this strategy as a strategy will just make me to be worth on what I'm doing as a future reader. Thank you.